If you guys have been paying attention to the guitar community in the last few years, which I'm sure you have, then you undoubtedly have noticed the popularity of Kiesel guitars. You've probably seen the hype on social media, and you've probably also seen the price tag on these guitars. Well, it just so happens that I have one here, and today what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at it and see if it justifies the hype and, more importantly, the price. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Taylor, and I do all sorts of guitar-related stuff like this on my channel. If that's something you enjoy, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing while you're here. So here's the story about this guitar. I borrowed this from my good buddy Alex, which, by the way, Alex, thank you so much for letting me babysit your guitar. So I borrowed this guitar from my friend Alex because I wanted to make a video on it, and I wanted to spend some time with it and see if I could understand why there was so much hype on these guitars and why they were so expensive. Now, in full disclosure, I don't know all the specifications on this guitar. I know that it is an Aries body shape. I know that it has a scale length of 27 inches. I know it has stainless steel frets. And I also know that Alex and I have extremely similar tastes when it comes to guitars because he has modified it by putting the volume knob down here where the tone knob is supposed to go. But he actually went one step further than I would have personally and put a coil tap switch in here. And when you coil tap this is actually the tone knob, which I thought was a really interesting and clever way of reconfiguring this guitar. Now, the guitar does have stock Kiesel pickups in it, and while I'm not a huge fan of these pickups, I can get why people might like them. They're very snappy sounding pickups, and they really clean up well. Also, another thing that I thought was really interesting about this guitar is even though it has a 27-inch scale length, I didn't feel like it had a 27-inch scale length. It plays really smooth, and I think that the neck shape also really aids in helping the guitar feel not too chunky for my small hands. I also like the design of all the bevels and the cutaways on this guitar. I think that it makes it really easy to play, and it just makes it really comfortable in your hands, which is a nice touch. So in today's video, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna plug into this guitar, we're gonna play through it, and I'm gonna talk about some of the pros and cons, you know, things that I'm noticing in the moment that I enjoy about it, or maybe not enjoying so much. And then after putting this guitar through its paces, at the end of the video, I will give you guys my honest opinion on whether or not I think this guitar is overhyped and overpriced, or whether I think that's justified. But before we get into today's video, I need to talk about today's sponsor, DistroKid. Have I mentioned that I use DistroKid yet? It's true. I use DistroKid to distribute all of my music to all of the popular online platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and Reverb Nation and Pandora and whatever other online platform you can think of. And one of the features that I really like in DistroKid and that I think is extremely valuable is the splits feature. What the splits feature allows you to do is split up the royalties in between you and any other collaborators that you might have on your track. You can add unlimited collaborators, you can change the splits at any time, you can add or remove collaborators at any time. You can even go back in time and see all of your previous splits. And it's also really private. Collaborators can only see the percentage they get, they can't see the percentage that other people on the track are getting. Now, your collaborators will need to make a DistroKid account, but if they don't have one, no problem, they get a 50% discount, so it's only $10 to sign up. Your release won't get delayed if your collaborator doesn't sign up. DistroKid will hold the earnings until they join. And if your collaborator never joins, you can easily cancel their invitation and reallocate all of their earnings elsewhere. And as always, DistroKid never takes a cut. You and your collaborators get 100% of your royalties. So don't leave your royalties on the table, and definitely don't leave them in the hands of your bass player. You deserve better than that. Use the link in the description below and you will get 7% off, and more importantly, you'll be helping support the channel. All right, with all that out of the way, let's jump right into a song that I made with this guitar, and I will show you what it sounds like in a mix. What's up guys? I have this Kiesel Aries plugged into my 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗀. This is a patch that I made with the Diesel VH4 amp, and I'm using an IR that I made from the new Miko classified cab pack. More on that coming soon. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so this Kiesel has been modified quite a bit. The middle pickup is just for looks here, and we have the 5-way wired to the 2 humbuckers. And the volume knob has also been moved down here, so it's out of the way when you are strumming. And it has been coil tapped, except that's not a coil tap, that's actually the tone. So pretty smart detail there by my buddy Alex to wire it that way. Now the pickups in this guitar are Kiesel pickups, and I'm not a huge fan of these pickups for high gain. I think that they sound a little bit shrill and a little bit plucky, I guess, for lack of a better word, but they definitely get the job done. I would just prefer some actives in here, something that sounds a little bit more well-rounded. Let's switch over to a clean patch really quick. Okay, so as far as tone and, you know, covering all the bases is concerned, this guitar definitely covers a lot of bases just with the pickup configuration that is wired with now. And even the original pickup configuration, having a middle pickup, it probably covered even more bases then. But I actually prefer the way that Alex wired this with the volume knob being down here, and I think it's a really cool touch that he wired this in so that the coil tap is actually the tone knob. I probably would have just left it without the tone knob because you guys know how I feel about tone knobs, but I think it's super versatile. Now to me, the unique thing about this guitar, and probably all Kiesel guitars, is all of the beveling work that's done on this. Like, there is quite a bit of beveling done here on the belly cut. Even right here, you know, it's cut at an angle just to make the neck joint a little bit more comfy, especially when you're reaching up into those high registers. And then, you know, we have a bevel here for the armrest, which is pretty extreme. You know, if you could see that, this guitar thins out quite a bit here, probably to be about as thin as like my Ibanez S series, something like that. It's just such an extreme angle here, but it really makes the guitar super comfy to play. And then funny enough, there's also one here on the headstock, which I think is just more for laughs than anything else because, you know, I don't think it serves any ergonomic purpose or anything like that. But all of these cutaways and bevels just really serve to make the guitar super comfortable when you're playing it. The neck is also fairly thin and flat, and even though this is a 27-inch scale, it is way more comfortable to play than the other 27-inch scale guitar that I have, being my Agile. I'll get that out here in a second so that you can compare the necks. And this natural finish on the neck is really nice too. You know, it's very porous, and at first I thought it was kind of like hindering my playing a little bit and it felt kind of weird, but after I got used to it, it actually feels really, really nice. I feel like I'm playing a high quality instrument. And then of course we have a hip shot bridge. You guys probably know how I feel about hip shot bridges, but they are excellent. And then we have stainless steel frets as well, so presumably this guitar will never have to be refretted. These frets should last forever. The only other guitar that I have stainless steel frets on is my 𝗀𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗀. And I would say it feels pretty similar to that. But anyways, I just don't notice a huge difference with the frets. I think that the main appeal to having stainless steel frets is that you just know you never have to replace them, which is awesome. And I think it totally justifies their price. Like I said, aside from the pickups are probably my least favorite part about this guitar. Everything else is really, really awesome. And we also have Kiesel locking tuners back here as well. And I just find that locking tuners are really nice, especially, you know, when you're changing your strings and you just want to get it over with. I don't know about you guys, but changing my strings is probably my least favorite part about playing guitar. So it's always nice when a guitar has locking tuners on it. Okay, let's compare this to the Agile real quick here, and I will show you the difference in between the necks, especially for those of you who own an Agile, since they're cheaper 7-string guitars and maybe you're thinking about upgrading to a Kiesel. Here's the same patch using my Agile, which has Seymour Duncan blackouts. And you can tell this guitar sounds quite a bit darker. Some of that probably has to do with the construction of the guitar itself, but I think a huge part of it is just the pickups. I think the Kiesel pickups are just very bright and snappy sounding, whereas something like this, or probably really any other active pickup, is just gonna be a little bit flatter and more well-rounded. And then here are the necks side by side, just to give you an idea for comparison. I'm trying to get those as flat as possible there, but you know, you can see the Agile is just a little bit thicker. The shape is pretty similar. The Kiesel is just a little bit thinner, and on a 27-inch scale, that little bit really makes a big difference for me because I have smaller hands. So, you know, it just makes it a lot more comfortable to play. All right, I wanna know what you guys think about Kiesel guitars. Do you think that they're overhyped and overpriced, or do you think that the price and the hype is justified? Let me know down in the comments. I personally think that after spending some time with this guitar and playing with it for a while, that there is a serious amount of craftsmanship that has gone into this instrument. It doesn't look like Kiesel cut any corners. All of the components are top notch. There isn't an inch of this guitar that hasn't been gone over with extreme detail. And for those reasons, I think that the hype and the price is justified. Look, am I saying that this guitar is for everyone and you should go buy a Kiesel? Absolutely not. But if you want an extremely high quality instrument that's gonna last you a lifetime, then you should probably take a look at them. Special thanks to all of my awesome patrons for helping me bring you videos just like this one. And if you are interested in joining my Patreon and helping support the channel, there's a link for that down in the description below. And as always, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like button. It really goes a long way into helping out my videos, and I really appreciate every single one of you that does it. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.